Welcome. It is a joy to be with you. If you are enjoying this content, please like, share, and subscribe. It helps light travel. Good morning. Welcome. 1,000 welcomes. And we are meditating today on the topic inner quiet. It's part of our series titled Conscious Bliss. And so as we dive into these teachings, as we dive into the stories and the meditations, we're always inviting ourselves to feel directly the reality, the energy, the truth, the reality of what is being named in words. And then we're inviting ourselves to live in this body with these human emotions, with this human mind, with this human life, the reality that is being described here. And so I'll start by sharing just an observation about the phrase conscious bliss. So yogis for millennia have named the ultimate reality, the foundational ground of our being, the energy in which we live and move and breathe and have our being, but that is also beyond the physical, as existence, consciousness, bliss. And I'm shortening that to conscious bliss for the purpose of this meditation series. And I'm inviting us to think about, what do I usually think of when I think of bliss? And can I expand beyond that? One of the things that yogis say is that bliss is here always. In true bliss, this is the bliss in which there is no coming and there is no going. And so what that means is bliss cannot be a bodily sensation, because bodily sensations come and they go. And it also means that bliss cannot be a human feeling, because human feelings come and go. And it also means it can't be anything that the human mind can think, because thought waves come and thought waves go as well. And so what the yogis are doing, we can name this in many different ways. They're inviting us to become aware of that which is aware through ourselves, that which is the energy of life through ourselves, that which is the energy of pure love through ourselves. So this is the love that allows us to taste a strawberry as if we've never tasted a strawberry before. And so I'm inviting you to practice this. So next time you meet a strawberry, or if you're meeting a blueberry or an apple, whatever it is that you're meeting, taste it as if you have never tasted it before. And notice that what happens as you do that, you can also do it. I was practicing this thought experiment driving here. I said to myself as I was driving through a corridor of trees, how would I drive through this corridor of trees as if I had never driven through this corridor of trees before? And I actually burst out crying. And then I was saying to myself, I'm driving, I'm not going to cry too much. But you just burst into tears of love and gratitude, because you see directly, you feel directly the radiance, the vitality, the aliveness, the absolute preciousness. You could call it any number of names. You could call it divine magic. That's a phrase that's been coming to me today. Divine magic. And divine magic, it's in your fingertips. If you are able to move your fingers and feel the pulse of life within your fingers, that's divine magic. If you're able to feel your own heartbeat, you're able to feel that warmth, that aliveness, that curiosity, that joy, that laughter, that's divine magic. If you're able to smile, and I'm inviting you, I invited everyone earlier, if you heard me, smile with a big cheesy grin. Like your face looks a little bit silly, you're smiling that much. So researchers have found that when you smile in that way, even if you don't feel like smiling in that way, you give yourself incredible benefits. So you give yourself a physiological boost, you sort of calm the body down, you help yourself feel connected to everything that you love. It can increase the quality of your immune response to whatever you are experiencing. And I'm not talking about the sort of like polite, like awkward smile that people make. I'm talking like the big cheesy grin that like your eyes wrinkle up around the corner. That, yes. So yes, exactly. So that it looks a little bit like you're like, oh, that person has they're not censoring themselves with their smile. They're not holding back. So smile with that energy all the time, and you'll just notice incredible benefits. I heard someone recently say that when they started this practice of smiling, they found that it changed how people responded to them. Until that, people said, "Oh, I thought you were so serious. But now I see you're smiling and I see that you're friendly." And so it actually can change the way that you encounter moving through time and space as well. Another thing that yogis practice, and this exists in other traditions as well. Buddhist traditions practice this, and some Taoist traditions as well. It's possible to smile into your own heart. If you've been feeling anger, it's possible to smile into your own liver. And so I'm inviting you, your right side of your rib cage, put your hand there, smile into that area. So if you've been feeling anger, smile into that area, and it can help release tension, it can help release stress. Also, if you've been feeling a lot of stress lately, smiling into this area can be incredibly relieving. So it's completely fine while I keep talking. If you keep your hand there and keep smiling, there's probably a lot of love that would be benefited here by sharing that smile with the energy of the liver. So we're reminding ourselves that we are more than the physical. We are this energy that is eternal, that is beyond the body, and then we're also here in the physical. We're here experiencing human emotions, human thoughts. We're navigating time and space. And the yogic teachings help us do this, and you can name this in many different ways, but in conscious bliss, being aware that inner quiet is available to all of us. One of the things that yogis say, and I hinted at this earlier, they say that conscious bliss eliminates distraction and it eliminates wandering. And so just do a check-in and notice, how have I been doing with distraction? How have I been doing with wandering? Would I love to turn my attention within to the source of all satisfaction, the source of all joy, the source of all fulfillment? And that's inner quiet. So the yogis describe this as, this is the bliss that has no coming, this is the bliss that has no going. Swami Nityananda says this: transcend the domain of the senses and mind by the practice of meditation. And so you're working with the senses, you're working with the mind, but you're not being bound by them. You're able to move beyond any limitations that you're feeling or are aware of or are perceiving or experiencing in the senses and the mind. And meditation makes this possible, to enter the silence. Be still, open and receptive, humble and patient. How's that patience? So give yourself the gift of patience. And as you give yourself the gift of patience with yourself, guess what? Patience is able to be shared with other humans in your life as well. So the Bhagavad Gita is offering a very similar teaching. The Bhagavad Gita, and this is from chapter 6, says, remain firmly established on the principles and ideals of directing your energy toward God, controlling your mind, and being serene inwardly. And it says, meditate, engaging in meditation, considering the divine alone the supreme goal. So go straight to the divine. In your meditation, turn within. You're not seeking any psychosensory perceptions. You're not seeking spiritual experiences or sensations. You're just going for pure quiet. You're just going directly for that pure love. Lahiri also says, very similar teaching, let your body be filled with light. The nectar of immortality is in tranquility. Enjoy settled stillness. Gain strength toward the senses. And so these teachings are reminding us that meditation helps us transcend what we experience as limitation. It's acknowledging humans can have this perception of limitation in time and space. Meditation will help you move beyond the limitations that you are perceiving. And it helps you do so with wisdom and skill, with love, with good humor, with courage, with discernment. So I'm about to share a story, and I'm inviting you to just notice where you are in relation to this story. And I'll share a couple of connections to yogic principles as well. So a few weeks ago, and I was laughing to myself as I was thinking about, I saw this video a few weeks ago. my university age students tell me that people my age see things months after they do. So there's maybe something that university age students saw months ago. I saw it a couple weeks ago. They don't say that about me. They say that about their parents. But it's the truth. So I saw this video on an online platform, and it was of a toddler. And the toddler was asking his mom for an apple. So the mom was in the kitchen. The mom had peeled an onion, was holding the peeled onion in her hands, and the toddler said, "I want that apple." And she said, "It's not an apple, it's an onion." And he said, "It's an apple." And she said, "It's an onion." He said, "It's an apple." So she said, "Here." She gave him the onion, and he held it, and he took a giant bite out of the onion, and he started chewing. And his face became bright red, like visibly bright red, and he kept chewing. And she put in the caption, "He's so stubborn, he won't admit that it's an onion." And then the next thing you see, he's taking another bite of the onion, and he's chewing. And then his face is more red, and then the video completes. So here's the question. This is, I'm sharing this with good humor, yogic principles made visible in time and space. So the yogis say that each of us has, if we are in a human body, we have the potential to be stubborn. We have the potential to be resistant. And so the question is, how am I directing that energy? And the yogis actually say there's no blame and there's no self-judgment in this, just practice self-awareness. That same energy that can exhibit as stubbornness can transform into spiritual tenacity and perseverance. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with the energy, but what that story is inviting us to do is to become aware. Am I practicing discernment? Am I practicing self-correction? How am I using my senses? Am I using them in ways that are bringing me closer to the lasting sweetness? Or am I biting into the onion, even though it's making me cry? And you can feel like this story works in a lot of different ways on a lot of different levels. And so for any energy of resistance or stubbornness within ourselves, the yogis say this ability to observe and to self-correct is vital. So just practice awareness with how I have been directing the senses. Have I been directing them? These teachings are all saying direct the senses toward the divine. And here I'm using it as a metaphor. Am I directing the senses towards sweetness, towards the apple, rather than towards the onion? And am I practicing that art of self-correction and of discernment? So another metaphor for this is be absolutely steady in that energy of unconditional love. So there does not need to be blame. There does not need to be judgment. Unconditional love is deeper than that. It's the foundation of your being. And yogis say that it's vital to practice discernment. So a metaphor that came to me is it's absolutely neutral. And we have surgeons in the house, surgeons who are meditating with us. A surgeon needs to be able to look and see that's healthy, that's not healthy. And that's a metaphor. Yogis are always inviting us to be able to look and to say that's true, that's not true. That's real, that's not real. And it's neutral. It's just completely neutral. It's the energy of love and wisdom and strength and skill and courage. There's a non-attached clarity, a non-judgmental awareness that shares through the surgeon. And so for each of us, we are invited to practice that in our daily lives. We are invited to practice that with ourselves, observing, biting into onion, biting into apple, and just being honest and neutral about it. How am I directing the energy of the senses? And then if we become aware of anything in time and space that is not based on reality, that is not based on truth, that is not based on love, it is incumbent on us to have that skill, that clarity, that strength, that steadiness, that discernment, to be able to look at it. Remember, the laws of energy are neutral. There is no judgment, there's no blame, there's no fear. It is love and wisdom looking through that surgeon and just looking and saying, healthy, not healthy, real, not real, true, not true. And so for each of us, that's the gift that we're giving ourselves. That's the gift that we're giving ourselves when we look out into the world. Burn everything away so that you are comfortably steady and calm and clear, even if you become aware of departures from expressing pure, unconditional love in time and space. Have that clarity and that awareness. The light in you is never threatened. The light in you is steady and warm and calm and strong and bright. The light in you is fearless. The light in you is wisdom and courage in flowing motion. It is not threatened by anything that the body can experience in time and space. It is not afraid of anything that the human heart can experience in time and space. It is not shaken. It does not waver. It is unwavering light. And so I think that is a thing that I would like to invite us to see if we can feel directly for ourselves. I'll share one more teaching from the Upanishads, and then that teaching from Lahiri, which echoes a teaching also shared in the Christian New Testament, let your body be filled with light. The teaching in the New Testament comes from Matthew. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. And what the yogis say is that in meditation, by focusing here, between and above the eyebrows at the center of the forehead, there is always light present here. And as we focus on this light, light fills us. The most incredible, precious, pure light fills us. And that is the light of the eternal. That is the light of immortality. So the Isha Upanishad names this as the eternal, the transcendental. And it says, O thou self-manifested cause and substance of creation, O thou indwelling self of all. Another way of putting this is the divine light is present even in humans who are experiencing affliction and confusion and misery. Even in humans who are departing from truth and reality, the divine light is present in them. And so as you are steady in that awareness, it helps you be present, even if you're looking upon someone who's experiencing affliction, back to the energy of that love and wisdom that is able to be steady and calm and clear and responsive and respectful and present and aware through a surgeon. And so the reason I'm using that metaphor is this is a long-standing teaching from the yogis. They say we have to cultivate this laser vision that looks past the appearance of duality, that looks past the appearance of separateness, that looks past the appearance of divisiveness, to see the radiance that is present in everywhere and everyone always. O thou indwelling self of all, thou source of illumination, guide me beyond thy rays of creation. Transport me beyond thy objective form, that by grace I may behold thy glorious self. What this means is we need to cultivate the ability to look past the appearances, to look past what the human body is experiencing in that moment, to look past what the human heart is experiencing in that moment, to look past whatever the human mind is experiencing in that moment, to be in contact with the source of light. So another way of thinking about this is, the yogis term this sense-bound. Am I asking for permanent, ongoing satisfaction from the senses? Because the senses cannot deliver that. The senses can give us amazing, beautiful perceptions, and they're fleeting. And so if I am looking for permanent, ongoing satisfaction and bliss, or peace and quiet from the senses, I will be giving myself a feeling of wandering. I will be giving myself a feeling of distraction. I will be giving myself, every human has felt it, that feeling of like itchiness, like that yearning, that burning, that, oh, well, maybe a bowl of this would make me feel better, or maybe if I listened to that, it would make me feel better. And what the yogis are saying is turn within. The quiet is within. The source of the light is within. The pure love that every one of us seeks is within. And meditation lets us greet the light that is within ourselves. It lets us be strong and steady, courageous and strong in that light. And that lets us connect in strength and courage and ability to be of service, and that just face-wide grin continually with the light within everyone whom we encounter. So just really quickly, I invite everyone to close your eyes if you like, if you're comfortable. And I'm inviting us to connect. The yogis call this the spiritual eye. In the opening meditation, we describe this as the space between and above the eyebrows at the center of the forehead. There is a window here that connects us to vast, calm, clear awareness that goes beyond the individual self. And the yogis say that if we focus on this light at the spiritual eye, the whole body may be filled with light. So we're inviting ourselves to focus between and above the eyebrows at the center of the forehead. And just invite ourselves to become aware it is possible for the whole body to be filled with light. I invite you to keep your eyes closed and to be aware that it is also possible to keep your attention here on this inner light, on the whole body filled with light. Always. It is possible to have this awareness of the whole body filled with light, waking, dreaming, sleeping, meditating, speaking, texting, emailing, talking, being fully present. I invite you to allow the full beam of your own attention to be fully present on this light, and to let the whole body be filled with light. And to let yourself feel this direct awareness in daily life, in the midst of relationships, in the midst of work, in the midst of just being right where you are. I also invite you, with the whole body filled with light, let yourself notice, how would I meditate if I were meditating for the first time? How would I hug someone if I were hugging someone for the first time? How would I clean and cut and eat a strawberry if I were encountering a strawberry for the first time? How would I breathe if I were breathing for the first time? How would I see if I were seeing for the first time? How would I hear if I were hearing for the first time? How would I smell if I were smelling for the first time? How would I open my heart to share pure love if I were opening my heart for the first time? And for each of us, how may I invite this light the whole body filled with light, to be present in me, as if I were meeting light for the first time. How might I live that light? How might I love that light? How might I share that light? How might I shine that light? I invite us to place our hands in prayer at the heart and to press our palms gently but firmly together, and to notice that energy of light is right here between the palms of your own hands. It is here in your heart. It is in your feet. It is present in the base of the spine. You are connected to the core of the earth, and you are filled with that light. Thank God, and God bless us all.